Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I rise today to support the bipartisan motion that's before us, and I thank the Prime Minister for putting this forward. I need to be on the record for my strong condemnation of the Hamas attacks on Israel. They are absolutely disgraceful. Now, let's face it, Hamas is a terrorist organisation. I'm sure that there's a lot of Palestinians that are equally very, very devastated by what Hamas has done. And I'm sure a lot of the Palestinians are just like us. They're going about their business, raising a family, trying to do the best they can. But Hamas is the terrorist organisation, and they are doing these abhorrent things. The reports, the stories, what we've seen, the footage, what we've seen, men, women, children, babies murdered, their throats cut, burnt, women raped, paraded through the streets. Absolutely acts of brutality and nothing short of a disgrace. We're in 2023. This sort of stuff went on in the medieval days. And here we are going on again. Over 1,400 dead and counting. More losses to Jews than we've seen since the Holocaust. Absolutely disgraceful. Unprovoked attacks. And it's going on and on. And, Mr. Speaker, you might think that, yes, this is in a world away. It's on the other side of the world. But it's affecting Australia. It's affecting my electorate of Dawson, and it's affecting Mackay. Because Chantal Matthews, a Mackay resident, a young lady, was over doing a Bible tour in Israel. She'd been to Greece, she'd been to Macedonia, and she was going through Israel, and she wanted to go to Jerusalem to walk in the steps of Jesus. And then the conflict broke out. So Chantal Matthews ended up in a bunker with little food, little water and no toilet facilities for days and days. We found out about this. My office contacted her mum, Lil Matthews, who's been a tower of strength through this whole ordeal. I've actually made contact with Chantal through WhatsApp, which was intermittent because they kept turning the communications on and off because of what was happening with the military conflicts over there. My office and myself, we contacted DFAT, the Emergency Consulate, Minister Penny Wong, and I want to put it on record that all three groups worked very, very well, and we actually got Chantal out. So Chantal is now in Dubai. She's resting. She's a bit scarred, a bit emotionally drained from this experience, but it's very important that people know that when we do have something go wrong with our people in Australia, we definitely do everything we possibly can to get them out and to look after them. So from the bunker, she had to make the trek about an hour across to Tel Aviv. That was a bit dicey. They weren't quite sure how that was going to be because there was conflict happening. She could hear the bombs, hear the missiles going overhead. And, of course, it was a very fluid situation. So they couldn't take her out straight away because they weren't quite sure about the control of the airspace. And there would have been nothing worse than actually having a Qantas flight and our people on that and then hit by a missile. And a big thank you to Qantas actually for making the effort to get our people out of there. So yes, so Chantal's in Dubai and heading home, and hopefully the story is going to end well. But the story is not going well in Israel at this present point in time, and I think it's only going to get worse. But while we were doing this, the events at the Sydney Opera House, while we were trying to get one of our own home, we've seen those disgraceful acts when the Opera House was coloured to to show some support for our Israeli friends. And then we had the group, well, I call them terrorists, but they're very, very ordinary people, the protesters, burning flags, saying gas the Jews, expletives about them, absolutely disgraceful. Now, I'm a man for free speech. I think you should be able to say what you want to do. If you want to protest, get a permit, be lawful, do what you're going to do. But I've got a tip for you. You're not going to get too much support from people in Australia by acting like this. If you want to get people in Australia on side, you need to put some very, very good points forward and convince the people of that. There is no room in our country for burning flags, for inciting violence and for doing the wrong thing to each. We need to respect each other. So I've travelled all over Israel myself. Israel is a beautiful country. It's got beautiful people, and I've done the Holy Land tour myself. But I can tell you what, I certainly, when I was there, it was really peaceful. I would not want to be there at this present point in time. And folks, this leads me to another thing. The Prime Minister moved this motion in good faith. It was accepted by the Leader of the Opposition, Peter Dutton, and enjoyed some respect on both sides. However, it beggars belief for me that the Greens and some of the Teals could vote against this. I'm very interested to listen to what contributions they have to ask why, because this was a motion for us to be able to stand and show Israel that we will support you, and it was also a motion to show all the world that Australians do not put up with brutality, barbaricness. We're a peaceful, loving nation, and we will support each other. What I'm calling for is peace. I fully understand Israelis have the right to defend themselves, and we need to track down Hamas, the terrorists, and make sure that they are punished. But we really need to find a peaceful solution and a resolution so we never have to go through this again. I feel that there's going to be some more issues in front of us, but we really, really need to come up with a peaceful resolution, and that's what I hope and pray for. Thank you.
I thank the honourable member for Dawson.